everyone. Crazy. Oh. You know how we begin. Let's get our intro going, and I'll be right back. Hi, everyone. And I am on my phone right now because I'm trying to find something. So just give me a second. Hey, everyone. Let me go ahead and get these comments going. Where is it? Give me a second. I am trying to find because I wanted to talk about. Hey, everyone. Okay, if I cannot find it, I'm going to try a little bit more scrolls. If I can't find it, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tag the information. Yeah, I can't find it. I'm going to tag the information. Hey, Antrelin. I hope I said that right, Antrelin. Hey, Free Gang. All right, so I don't think I can find it. I'll have to search a little further for that, and I'll just tag it below. But what I want to talk about today is, can y'all feel that everything is kind of ramping up a little bit, right? And let me see, how can I say this without the outside world feeling as though that I'm crazy? Because y'all know I'm not crazy, but I have to be careful how I say things. As we get closer and closer to the Super Bowl, if you notice, things always begin to happen. So you got the Super Bowl, you got the Grammys, you have all of these big events, right? And then as we lead up to that, things begin to happen. And one thing that you will find is that history always repeats itself. Okay. So we just had something serious happen this week, right? And in the air. And if you'll go back in time, and I think the year was 1961, that same exact event took place. All right. Um, they're saying that no one was in the helicopter, it was operating itself. And then you heard that someone was in there. So we don't know. Only thing we do know is that it should not have been flying in that space at that time. And condolences to the families, that were affected by that tragedy. And what we have to do is we just have to always be on high alert, you guys. You have to stay on high alert. You have to stay in a space of trying to understand what's going on at all times, and using your wisdom and your internal spirit to guide you. Okay, that is so important. Okay, because a lot of times, have you ever had that feeling where you were in a space and you were like, something just doesn't feel right? A lot of times it doesn't feel right because it's not right. And sometimes your brain can't understand what's going on, but your spirit will get in that space of danger before your brain will. And that's why you have to trust your intuition. You have to learn to trust your intuition. And that's not something everyone has. That's what I had to come to realize. Everybody doesn't have that wisdom, that understanding. They just don't. Okay, it is being blocked by outside interference with, constant. And don't get me wrong. Now I'm on social media big time. I mean, big time. Okay, but if there's a balance in my life with it, okay, if there is a serious balance with it, because it can't consume your life. Okay, it has to be utilized to push you ahead. If it's not pushing you ahead in some manner, then you need to reevaluate what's going on with that. So I wanted to start there. Now, for today, I want to deal with um, understanding what pro se is. Okay. A lot, especially in our school, we have a lot of people that are moving into litigation manners. Okay. Um, Learning how to defend themselves. And so I want to talk about that space of being a pro se in a um, in a situation of needing to defend yourself, or you suing someone and needing to be in the offense and understanding what goes with that territory. And what I wanted to show you, and I'm going to go back and find it and get them a tag it in the end, but there was an actual judge that retired. He retired. Let me see if I saved it in my thing. He retired, but he came back and he wrote an actual paper, an article on how it's not fair for pro se litigants. And for those that don't know what pro se means that you're representing yourself. Okay. You are representing yourself, and you do not have any type of assistance from an attorney or what have you. And I am trying, let me see if I put it. Give me a second. Let me just see if I put it in my photos, and if not, no, I did not. Okay, but I know where to find it. I know where to find it. I wanted to give you guys the judge's name, and but I'll get that because I want you to read that. If you're in a school, I'm actually going to put that in the library. The signed document concealed open carry you covered while traveling. Okay, so we'll get to that question a little later. Let me kind of finish where I am right now. So as a pro se, it is very, very important that you understand when you go into that setting, okay, you really, 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 you guys, you have to understand what you are doing. I cannot stress that enough. You have to understand how to move in that domain. And the best thing you can do is read the rules of the court. And they have it on all of their websites. Sometimes it's tucked away in different areas, so you might have to call to ask them where is the rules of the court. There's rules of the court for every level, whether you're at federal, state, or magistrate, whatever level, district, it doesn't matter. All of them have rules. And it's so important that you are abreast of the rules, because a lot of times you will be able to win simply from them not following the rules. But I wanted to start today for you just to give an understanding that if you go in as a pro se, understand how to move. Understand how to move. Okay, that is so important. We right now are assisting on the lawful side, lawful, not legal, because we are not attorneys. Okay, let me put that disclaimer out there. On the lawful side, we are assisting with the documentation for some people to kind of show them where to go to get the items that they need to be successful. All right. And the thing about it is that when you know who you are, there are so many areas that you can defend yourself on. It's ridiculous. Okay. So in our school, we are talking about the different areas and the pockets that you can begin to bring forth in that lawsuit to just listen, just handcuff them. There is no defense to some of this stuff. Okay. So that's another thing I wanted to touch on. Now I want to talk about let me see. Money P. Yeah, I'm private. What if schoolmates still call you? I'm private. What if schoolmates? I don't understand that question. Okay, let me swing back to this one. The signed document conceal open carry. Are you covered while traveling from state to state? That's just it. We're not amongst their rules. So you're talking about traveling as a de facto. You're not de facto. You're not a United States citizen. So bring yourself outside of that system. You don't go by statutes and codes. So you're covered as an American and of your nationality. So whatever your nationality is, that's who you are. And those documents protect you as an American. Okay. All right. Okay, so I don't want to use this platform. Please ask those questions inside of the school. Okay. All right. So let me get to the next thing I wanted to talk about. So you guys know that right now it's a lot of movement. It's a lot of things that are happening as each day goes by. as each day goes by, there's so much that's going on. You literally have to kind of dig in and stay on the information side to understand how to move about. Okay, literally how to move about. And so one thing that I wanted us to hone in on, again, understanding, protecting yourself on that litigation side, protecting yourself, knowing how to defend yourself. But where it comes to being an ASN and literally moving that way, in our school, we have all of these contracts that have to be broken. We have all of these contracts that you have to begin to understand. And so what I'm working on right now is, what I'm seeing is that people don't understand what the contract is. You have to understand what the contract is. So in the de facto, every state has a rule that pertains to contracts. There are elements of a contract that has to be present. Let me say that again. There are elements of a contract that has to be present for the contract to be valid. Everything you deal with in the de facto is a contract. Everything. Okay. Starting at birth, that birth certificate is a contract. It's a bond. Okay. And so what it is, they literally gave you a business, and people don't understand that when you were born, they literally put a sole proprietorship in your hand. Okay. So that all caps name is a business. It's a sole proprietorship. And so you now, for those that are status corrected, have to come out of that space and begin to operate as the business owner of that sole proprietorship. So everything that birth certificate straw man was pulled into, you now, as a status corrected American, have to begin to make sure that you are facilitating and operating and doing the things that you need to do to keep that de facto business in its proper order and in its proper state. All right. So what am I saying? All of those contracts that this entity was brought into, you need to manage them, but you're managing them from the outside if you're status corrected. Okay. That's a mouthful. I understand. So when we're talking about all of those contracts, all of those information pieces that straw man was brought into, this is you on the outside operating, monitoring, running that sole proprietorship, that business. Okay, from this standpoint, this is how you have to begin to move. So when you go into the courts and you begin to defend yourself, you're not defending yourself as the de facto, the birth certificate straw man. You're defending yourself as the one that is running that entity, and you are separating yourself out, and they are understanding that it's not one entity we're talking about. It's a natural man, natural woman over here that is now running all of these contracts that they were brought into fraudulently and illegally. That's important to understand. Fraudulently and illegally. So when you begin to look at all of the elements that go into a contract per these states, and I'm talking about the state of states. When I say the state of states, I'm talking about the de facto states. Okay. When you begin to look at their statutes, their codes as it relates to contracts, one of them is always going to be, you have to have a meeting of the minds. Meeting of the minds means that I understand what I have signed. I understand what I'm in. I have agreed to everything that is stipulated in this contract. And a lot of times you were clueless to it because, first of all, you didn't even understand that you were not that entity. So I am saying all that to understand you need to learn how to write that, how to present that, how to articulate that when you go into these courtrooms and begin to defend yourself as a pro se. That's where the fraud began. So every document that you prepare, every court case that you prepare, everything that you put in place, okay, in defense of yourself or offense, it should begin with that. Okay, understanding how to do it and understanding what to do. Okay. All right, you guys, what time is it? So it's 12. Oh, good. I'm doing good today. I want to stop here because today's topic was really heavy. And if you're in our school, I want you to go and begin. There's so many documents in there. Okay. Go to the book club and just start to read those books that we have given to you. If you're not in the school, you need to get in there. Okay. You need to get in there because I'm telling you, it is so much information that you will begin to break those contracts in your life and you'll begin to understand how to move and what you need to do. Because every day there are new developments. There's new information that's coming down the pipeline, especially when it comes to these prosperity credit unions that are popping up in every state now. So far, I understand there's 32 states that have prosperity credit unions where you'll be able to actually transfer your currency into different dollars. Okay. You'll be able to purchase a house from these credit unions, and they are brick and mortar. So they're actual building that you will go into to do these transactions. So it's important that you get in place. It's important that you begin to understand, because I can promise you, once it's already a little haywire. It's already a little haywire because people are waking up and they're understanding. So there's two parts to this. There's two parts in getting status corrected and starting to break those contracts, but there's also another part where as you are now going back and you're straightening out your life, okay, because you were pulled into another straw man's life that you didn't know anything about. So all of those contracts that straw man is in, now you have to go in and let everyone know, listen, the natural man, the natural woman has shown up, okay? The natural man and the natural woman is here now, and I'm here to straighten this mess out. So I need y'all to pay these bills. I need y'all to pay this mortgage. I need y'all to pay this lease. I need y'all to pay this car note. Okay. I mean, it's so much that needs to be unraveled. It's going to take you guys, because I'm going on now probably a year and a half of actually probably about 2 years of actually unraveling all these contracts, unraveling them. And I'm still going to be in this in a minute because I pull again some things into court, okay, which is taking forever to be heard, but the day is going to come. Some of these court, I know in California, I think they're backed up like 2 or 3 years now, okay, being able to be heard. So it's important that you get all of your information in, okay. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you today. When I find that judge's name that wrote that article, I'm going to put it in a school and I'm going to put the link below. All right. Don't forget, every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our orientation on being free, being status corrected, and giving you an understanding of where this all began. And we have receipts on different things that have been taken care of. So if you have not come, or if you have not invited someone, invite them. Okay, if you've been trying to explain this to someone and they're just not getting it, that's why we do it, so we can take it out of your hands and you give them to us and we begin to explain and break it down. And don't forget, that's also a time that you can ask questions, okay? All right, you guys, until next time. Bye-bye.